It can never be emphasized enough, the reason as to why we're in physical creation. We are all free beings of real light, and we are with the true reality life is now, and indeed every moment. The is an all-aliveness, and it is everything, as everything is a part of it. It is then so that everything in fact is. Being isness is the state of being that one chooses, deciding to be is, in other words. As a free being of light with the is, there would be no requirement to decide to be is, for why would you decide to be something you already are? A little like the air, deciding and choosing to be the air. This would be rather a pointless thing to do. Being isness then must infer the want to be what we already all are, from a position or state of awareness where we are not, but in a position where we have the option to do so. The all is constantly expanding, but not the way we might imagine or think this to be. Expansion would suggest a growing or an increasing of oneself, and this is one of the misconceptions of the various spiritual paths, or perhaps a deliberate control mechanism to keep people locked into the personal self and creation. The is expanding, but expanding into itself. The isness is an endless everything, and as everything is, then it follows that every individual, or you tune, in this endlessness is this endlessness that is. And if every individual is already complete, and the endlessness of isness, then it's not so much an expansion beyond this state to find the true essence, the true reality of one's self, but more an inward journey. As we already are this isness, and just need to reconnect and recognize it from whatever state of awareness we have and embodiment currently we occupy. The isness cannot be defined with space or time either. There would be no movement, or the seeming passage of time from one position to another, so even an inward journey may not accurately describe the process by which we would gradually expand into our own real selves, as a journey may well suggest distance travelled. The difficulty always is trying to convert something that is everything, and that is beyond the experience of anyone, into literal explanations, using the limited language available. Dwayne must have had quite the job, as the one tasked with speaking of the All-Is, in such terms as has never been spoken of before. There would have been others throughout human history that were backed by the real universal guides to bring forth information beyond the scope of human experience as it pertains to the true reality, but rudimentary information at best. Human collective consciousness overall develops as it does, and as the eons and epochs pass, overall human consciousness qualifies itself to become aware of more, and as such, each individual moves through the various body forms to glean greater volumes of experience that allow for greater awareness of the creational simulation they are in. To have an individual speak of the is, raw and unfiltered, too early in the human consciousness stages, and it's very unlikely the awareness would be such that it would be accepted, and more likely the provider of such knowledge would meet a swift end. It would be a little like a professor of quantum physics trying to bestow this knowledge onto kindergarten children. He would have to wait until the children had transitioned through schools, high schools and colleges and universities, and then maybe he would have a chance that his words are at least partially grasped. There have, of course, been individuals who excelled in their awareness of life far more readily than the vast majority. This would have been recognized, and opportunities then set up and established. Individuals qualify themselves for their next steps and stages, an endless series of steps to ultimately recognize who they are, true beings of real light, with the ease. When the student is ready, the master will appear, as the saying goes. But more so the opportunity and experience for greater awareness avails itself, as the master idea is very much entangled with the subconscious notion of the master and slave dynamic, and is a control mechanism then, that is a reference to creation only, and has nothing to do with the real universes of the ears. Consequently, such terms have gone the way of the dinosaurs. They were fine for their day, when human consciousness was at the stage it was. But as consciousness moves along and awareness increases, the old terms affiliated with the stages that are surpassed ought be abandoned also, for no other reason than our experience is based on our created consciousness, and it is the awareness of more than what we currently are that allows for experiences beyond our construction. So all that an individual currently would be is based on all they have experienced up until that point, and the experience the individual currently is in their current lifetime is the cause and effect culmination of all that makes up their created consciousness. A created consciousness based on all the experiences and all the details, references, and emotionally charged ideas affiliated with them. And so experiences where having a master or a guru may well have been a new experience for an individual at some point, and consequently their awareness would have been more so. They have become aware of something new. All these experiences and ideas are creations. They are all created out of nothing, but nevertheless, the created self requires these experiences in all their various forms for a greater awareness of the simulated creation they are in. We can say then that any idea in creation is not necessarily any better or worse than another. They are simply all created ideas. But ideally, we would categorize and begin to recognize how certain ideas serve to move us along in our awareness, and others do not. The ideas that will stall us are those affiliated with experiences we already have had, and yes, they served their purpose for the time, such as the master and guru ideas. But if we keep having the same experiences, if we keep deciding the same things, if we stick with the masters and the gurus, then we will not become aware of anything beyond the experience that stems from these ideas. An idea of the master and student becomes the experience of just this, in accordance with the cause and effect mechanic of creation, and we can have this same experience forever if we choose. But if we stick with a particular idea, then we cannot move beyond the experience of it. Our created consciousness may be based then on being a student to a guru. Each lifetime we return with no memory of our previous ones, and so, as our created consciousness remains as it has prior to our passing, the life that follows will be the experience, the effect of it. We could conceivably remain at the master or guru's feet for lifetimes, with no recollection of having done this maybe 1,000 lifetimes before. And so, as the collective consciousness has moved along, these old references and ideas become such that they will prevent further awareness, and are as such best left on the shelf. Old experiences are just that, old references, that we may refer to at some point or another, but will serve no purpose as it pertains to our awareness, our becoming aware of more. We might well use them as comparisons, for the best means by which our awareness becomes more so is to compare what we have known, what we have experienced, with the new experiences we have created for ourselves. If we enter a scene for the first time ever in our experience, and it is a scene that we haven't had revealed to us in literature, pictures, or the television, we will not understand what we are seeing. The best we can do is to compare the features of our new scene to those that are of experiences we know, and then we may have to start cataloguing everything, creating new terms and expressions to incorporate this new world into our experience. We recognize the new world by comparing it to the old. This wouldn't be so difficult from a physical level perspective, as we are used to perception on this life level, and simply have to come to terms with the things we never have seen before.